Hey guys, it's Jay here, back on my NFL predictions for 2022 on YouTube. To recap week 6, I got 8 out of 14 predictions correct. So, let's get started on week 7, hoping that there will be some surprise upsets and some major blowouts or shutouts, hopefully, but we'll see based on my predictions. Number 1, New Orleans at Arizona, and I am picking the Cardinals winning 19-17. I believe both offenses have some rhythm, but they have not been executing it correctly. Or for Arizona, Kyler Murray only scored 9 points, or led his team to score 9 points. But in New Orleans, they said the Saints gave up a lead against the Bengals. So it's going to be against two weak offenses, I believe, and some defenses that cannot hold on to leads. So I think Arizona has the better of it. They have a more talented roster. DeAndre Hopkins is back. They traded for Robbie Anderson. So without Marquise Brown, I'm sure they'll find a way to redeem themselves for the win. Number 2, Cleveland at Baltimore, and I am picking the Browns winning 20-17. Lamar Jackson has made 3 costly mistakes throughout the season, giving up 3 leads that were led by double digits. So, I expect Cleveland with the number 1 rushing offense, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, to paralyze the Ravens' defense. Whereas Lamar Jackson, maybe he has a 17-7 lead, and he turns the ball over. Perhaps Myles Garrett strips it out, and the Browns' defense take it back to the house for a touchdown. So that could happen. But I think Cleveland, they haven't really blown up leads, but they have just been outscored since day 1 of the game. So I believe that Cleveland, they'll have an opportunity to redeem themselves and get the win against a division rival. Number 3, Tampa Bay at Carolina, and I am picking the Buccaneers winning 27-15. Nothing more can be said about Tampa Bay. I mean, didn't expect them to lose to Pittsburgh last week, but Carolina is a weak team. They cannot carry Christian McCaffrey all the way, or Christian McCaffrey cannot carry the team all the way. It's up to other players to carry the team as well as Christian McCaffrey. So it's not going to be all CMC. Maybe he'll have a good game of receptions and running yards. But I think Tom Brady and the Buccaneers defense will find a way to win against a weak opponent and do so by 2 possessions. Number 4, Atlanta and Cincinnati, and I am picking the Bengals winning 30-23. Cincinnati is a talented team. They have redeemed themselves. 3-3 they are. Atlanta also is 3-3, but I believe that Cincinnati has more talent and they have a higher ability to make the playoffs than Atlanta does. And Joe Burrow is just more talented than Marcus Mariota. Joe Burrow has 3 playoff wins. Marcus Mariota only has 1. So I believe that the Bengals at home will straight up wipe the Falcons on their asses. Yet they're going to defeat the Falcons. Maybe the Falcons score a garbage time touchdown, but altogether Cincinnati wins the game. Cincinnati has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, arguably one of the best duos in the league. And Cincinnati's defense will come up clutch, I believe. Number 5, Detroit at Dallas. And I am picking the Cowboys winning 36-23. With the return of Dak Prescott, it wouldn't be surprising to see if he throws or scores 30-plus points on the board against a Detroit defense that has given up the most points. Although Detroit's offense has worked until some point of the season against New England, they just have... they've just regressed after that game in New England. Their hope is very slim that they'll make the playoffs. But Dallas, on the other hand, I think they'll bounce back against their loss in Philadelphia. And yeah, Philadelphia's a tough opponent for Dallas, so I think Dallas can beat the weak opponents, but maybe they'll lose to the stronger opponents over the course of the season. Number 6, New York Giants at Jacksonville, and I'm picking the Giants winning 28-21. Trevor Lawrence is already in what was his last season's form. He is not able to redeem himself, but although he was super close to getting the win in Indianapolis, he just couldn't. But the Giants and Daniel Jones, DJ, they've been winning games 3 in a row, pulling back comebacks in the fourth quarter, and I expect them to do the same thing in Jacksonville with Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, even Xavier McKinney, Kayvon Thibodeau on defense. They're going to come up clutch. In Jacksonville, they're going to fall 2-5. The Giants will rise to 6-1. So yeah, it's very disappointing to see Trevor Lawrence regress. He was 2-1, but now they're going to go 2-5. Number 7, Green Bay at Washington, and I'm picking the Packers winning 27-21. Carson Wentz broke his finger, and Taylor Heineke is in for starting quarterback for Washington. Aaron Rodgers, on the other hand, had a nasty game against the Jets. He didn't know what to expect in the game, being sacked 4 times. But I believe he will be able to redeem himself against the Commanders. The Commanders haven't been doing so well. They've been scoring very few points, other than the Jacksonville game. But nonetheless, they should be able to go 4-3 against a poor Washington defense that can come up clutch when the opposing offense is weak. Number 8, Indianapolis at Tennessee, and I am picking the Titans winning 30-20. Well, the Titans have been beating up the Colts for the past 4 games, sweeping them last season, and I expect the Titans to sweep the Colts this season because Tennessee just has the better of the game than Indianapolis does when these two division rivals meet up. And Derrick Henry's obviously there, Ryan Tannehill, Robert Woods, and he got the Titans defense, perhaps sacking Matt Ryan a couple of times. But I think Derrick Henry will have another exciting game against Darius Leonard and the Colts defense. And it's going to be all Tennessee on offense, perhaps. Maybe they'll hold up a lead. Maybe they'll be 27-3 and after the first half. Indianapolis would try to score points, but they will fail to because Tennessee's defense is super good these past 3 games. Number 9, Houston at Las Vegas, and I am picking the Raiders winning 28-17. The Raiders are a good team. They just have lost by 1 possession for every game they've lost, but I believe they will be able to turn it around against Houston because Houston is a weak team. Davis Mills does not have the experience as Derek Carr does. Although Dameon Pierce should tear apart the Raiders' rushing defense, I think they will hold Davis Mills and they will hold the Texans' offense in the red zone, giving the Raiders more chances and more possessions to score. Number 10, New York Jets at Denver. I am picking the Jets winning 23-16. The Jets have been an amazing team to watch these past 3 weeks. They're 4-2, and Denver is 2-4. Russell Wilson losing to the Jets would be pretty funny and exciting to watch because the Broncos' offense has struggled to find their rhythm this past season, whereas the Jets, they have their rhythm already. And I think Zach Wilson is doing a tremendous job, so props to him. They will wear and tear out the Denver defense, and the Jets defense will wear and tear the Broncos offense. Number 11, Kansas City at San Francisco, and I'm picking the 49ers winning in overtime 27-24. I think San Francisco will get their redemption against the Chiefs, who beat them in the Super Bowl in 2020. So it's going to be a tough battle. You got Deebo Samuel, but no cheetah for the Chiefs, though. But I believe San Francisco can pull off a victory. They lost to the Falcons because, Garoppolo and Jeff Wilson were causing a lot of turnovers, but nonetheless, they should be able to to win this game. At home, especially. Number 12, Seattle at Los Angeles Chargers. And I'm picking the Chargers winning 27-20. Justin Herbert, he's the race car. So, Herbert, I believe, should be able to tear apart a Seahawks defense that they didn't struggle against the Cardinals, but they've struggled in the past games, giving up a lot of yardage, specifically. And I can expect the Seahawks defense to give up yardage as always, miss a couple of tackles, and perhaps Justin Herbert and his team will find a way to go 5-2, whereas the Seahawks will fall 3-4. Geno Smith is playing wonderful, but the mistakes on defense and partly his receivers will cause the Seahawks to fall down 3-4. So it's Los Angeles. They're a talented team. They're like a 2013 Seattle defense that made the Super Bowl. And yeah, I can see the Chargers being playoff bound. Number 13, Pittsburgh at Miami, and I am picking the Dolphins winning 22-14. I think Tua is slated to come back from his concussion, and perhaps this will give a light of hope for the Dolphins, who are seeking their first win since they beat Buffalo. Pittsburgh and Kenny Pickett, they will have to face a team that may have come a bit clutch on defense in the past 3 wins, but I'm sure Pickett will have a adequate game. He'll have a fair game, doing his passing, and Najee Harris as well, doing his running. Although Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they will tear up the Pittsburgh defense secondary. Number 14, Chicago at New England, and I am picking the Patriots winning 31-17. Bailey Zappa is doing a good job starting past 2 games, going 2-0, but Justin Fields, on the other hand, his team has not come up with a victory. They've been close, but Justin Fields does not like being close. He wants to win the game. So I can expect a Patriots defense to harass Justin Fields, David Montgomery, and Khalil Herbert, and the offensive line altogether. Whereas the offense, they will find ways to put points on the board. Perhaps the defense will score a touchdown just to give an aid to the offense, but it's going to be all New England. They just blew out the Browns last game, not season, sorry about that. And I expect a lot of pressure on Justin Fields as well. So yeah, it's going to be New England winning against Chicago that last game. And for teams on bye, Buffalo, Minnesota, Los Angeles Rams, and Philadelphia are all on their bye week, so they will not be playing this week. And that is it for Week 7, 14 predictions. And I believe Week 8 will be 15 predictions because 2 teams are going to be on bye. Alright, that's it for Week 7. Subscribe if you haven't, and feel free to comment in the section below.